And even after suffering his first defeat last June, it was such a close, rousing slugfest. Tua maintained the lofty fourth-ranked heavyweight position in the WBC. And in the loss, he gained a valuable lesson.
I think I was probably taking my time too much. I think I should have started a lot faster, a lot earlier, you know, from the first round.
Not good news for tonight's opponent, Jeff Wooden, who knows exactly what he's staring at down the other end of the barrel.
It kind of reminds you of the Mike Tyson look, you know. He do a little bit of that little peekaboo and the little Joe Frazier thing, and he's going to be right there in front of you. He's not backing up. I believe he only has one speed, you know, that's coming forward, so he won't be hard to find.
But Wooden, a crafty, dangerous southpaw with plenty of moxie and heart, last year had courageously banged with the bigger Hasim Rahman and Michael Grant, and has decided he's had enough of those impressive-looking defeats.
I do have a boxing ability. If you look at a lot of heavyweights in the boxing division, most of them just stand still and they slug. You know, it's just whoever catch who first. And I kind of like been caught up in that mentality myself, you know, trying to be all big and bad. And most of the boxers I fight, you know, they are bigger and probably some of them a lot stronger than I am. But you really haven't seen too many boxers heavyweight that's boxing. I'm going to try to figure out playing a little bit of Muhammad Ali style in to fight tonight, you know. I even got my black and white uniform on like Ali had.
So bring on Ali versus Frazier, the simulation. In the world of David Tua and Jeff Wooden, the stakes are just as high.
It's a very crucial situation. It's a very must-win.
Well, in his only loss, David Tua learned a valuable lesson. Don't give your opponents a chance to breathe.
Let's check out these two fighters on the tail of the tape. David Tua, one thing that we have found out that David Tua in this fight against Wooden weighs more than he has ever weighed for any fight in his young career. He's up to 234 pounds, while Wooden, who in his last fight in October weighed 221, says he's doing some things differently. He's actually training better right now, and there is the example, 209 pounds, but is it enough against the big punching David Tua? We are in Maryland, and these are
white trunks with the black trim. He weighed in at an even 209 pounds. This young man has 17 wins, 5 losses with 11 knockouts. From Marianna, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, here is Jazzy Jeff Wooden. Wooden. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with the white trim. He tipped in at an even 234 pounds. This veteran pugilist has 28 wins, only 1 loss, with 24 knockouts. All the way from South Auckland, New Zealand, ladies and gentlemen, ranked number 4 by the WBC, here is David, the Terminator, Tua. Tua.
All right, gentlemen, you will both receive your instructions in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Watch your low blows, and most of all, obey my commands. Touch them up, come out for the bell. Thank you.
Tua Waduva in the corner, number 4 heavyweight according to the WBC. He sees number 10 Shannon Briggs getting a world title fight, and David Tua, who has that one defeat to Ibiabuchi, but in a terrific fight, very controversial decision. As you heard, says he took his time, not going to do that anymore, but that's done. Learns from that, moves on and upward. No question, one of the World Heavyweight Championship contenders, just 25 years old, David Tua. But Jeff Wooden feels that Tua's one-dimensional, can't box and jab the way Wooden can't move the way Wooden can, especially Tua now tipping the scales at 234. And Jeff Wooden, who always gets himself entangled in brawls, is incredibly courageous, incredibly game, but as you can see here, generally gets in with heavyweights who are bigger and stronger than he is, and by the end of the fight, he's on the short end of the stick, but certainly slugging it out to the very end. So he says he's thinking more now. He's going to fight his fight. Relax, control the pace, use what works for me. He says, I know Tua is going to use what works for him. It's those kind of clubbing shots. So Wooden, the southpaw, who could be very tricky, very dangerous.
He has a very vexing style. He says in the ring, I'm versatile. I can box or punch, whatever my opponent does not want to do. And, you know, David Tua wants to just brawl. He says in the ring, I'm aggressive. I am just a banger. His best punch is the right cross. Tua likes to be exciting in the ring.
24 knockouts, 28 wins. Pretty exciting. 11 of those in the first round, including first-round knockouts over world-ranked John Ruiz, also over Darrell Wilson. And speaking of Darrell, Coley coming up with Willie Wise in our main event. 12-round NABF welterweight title. And this is a co-feature, a main event on any other night. But local product out of Washington, D.C. Darrell Coley in the spotlight here tonight in Pikesville, right in the Baltimore area.
Good combination. You got to watch the top of the head of Wooden, especially if you're a body puncher like Tua is becoming. David Tua realizes the importance, especially in a 10-round or even a 12-round fight, the importance of the body, good body attack. It'll make those movers like Jazzy Jeff Wooden is trying to be. It'll make them sit down and punch with you.
Tua suffering that defeat to Ike Ibeabuchi. And after that fight, he took 5 months off for elbow surgery, left elbow. He had a problem with calcium deposits for a while, so he took care of that. And then he returned to the ring in November and put Jeff Lally down 4 times before stopping him in the second. The crowd now getting a little antsy, calling for some more action after the women's fight that generally lights things up and did in a hurry here tonight, as usual. And want a little more from these two heavyweights as we move into the final 5 seconds of round number 1. David Tua off the bronze medal in the '92 Olympics when he represented New Zealand, turned pro in December of '92 at the tender age of 20. And he won his first 9 fights and first 12 of 13 by KO. Making his climb up to number 4 in the world. WBC, he was number 3 before the Ibeabuchi fight. It was such a good fight. Really didn't drop him very far, just 1 spot.
It was that was such a physical fight. Both fighters scored. There was a nice right hand to the body.
Punching by Tua.
Hit your opponent right in the middle of the body. Oh, that's smart. Oh, that body shots hurt. Head shots they can shake off.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. David Tua got into boxing when he was 9 years old. His uncle, Afutoto, took him to the gym. Hope I said that correctly. He said he didn't like it. He didn't want to have anything to do with boxing. Then when he was 12 years old, their family moved to New Zealand, and he tried it again, and he liked it then. He went 88-6 as an amateur before turning professional, and David Tua did that back against Ron Humes on December the 1st of 1992. He knocked Humes out in the first.
Well, you heard what David Tua said about the lesson he learned in his defeat, that when he watched that tape again, he just took too much time, should have started faster and earlier from the first round. But he has not done that tonight. Taking his time. His corner telling him in between rounds that you got to get inside. You can't win this fight from the outside. That's exactly what Jeff Wooden wants. Although Wooden, you see how far he is staying away, stretching, unable to even get the jab in.
Yeah, and you see him moving around to his right. That is away from the power of a right-handed puncher. However, David Tua has a terrific left hook. And there it is. Didn't land the mark.
Actually, for Tua, outside is inside. Short arm, 71 inches. Especially for a heavyweight. Wooden has a 5-inch reach advantage, and he is staying on the outside to try to use it. Wooden generally takes rounds to get warmed up.
Good defense from Wooden. Tua not quite able to hit the mark.
And for Tua, Wooden also a yardstick. Here's a guy Tua's talking about. He wants to go up against guys like Hasim Rockman, and Wooden going 9 tough rounds before finally stopped by Rockman. Also went the 10-round distance to undefeated Michael Grant. Both Grant and Rockman with 22-0 going into those fights. Final seconds of the second round, and Wooden doing what he wants to do, stay on the outside. 7 Central Time, right here on USA. David Tua, Jeff Wooden. Sweat flowing through 6 minutes of action in a scheduled 30-minute fight, 10 rounds. And David Tua starting slowly. Again, hearing it from his corner, Lou Duva and Ronnie Shields, very vocal in asking Tua to step up the pace. Don't wait on him, go for it.
Yeah, he tried to do that in the second round, but he was missing too many punches. Tua was. Had he been landing those shots in the second round, he would have continued that here. Now he's still a bit befuddled by the southpaw stance. When you fight those left-handers, they face you backwards and they come at you backwards. And a jabbing southpaw is so difficult to beat because you see that southpaw stance. You can't get your jab working. Good combination from Tua. They are begging Tua between rounds. Back him up. They're saying both hands, be sure to follow up. When you hurt Tua, come back with another punch. There's a good uppercut from David.
But Wooden's a fighter who gets into the flow. The longer he goes, he gets dangerous later in fights.
It was great heart. He's only been stopped 2 separate occasions. Whoa, good combination. Tua has got the power. One-punch KO artist.
18 of his knockouts of his 24 have come within the first 3 rounds. And you can see on the face of Tua now in the stalking mode, moving in. And then for the first time in the fight, tied up by Wooden.
Yeah, Wooden got the breath knocked out of him. Gasping for air. He got hurt downstairs to the body. Good uppercut from Tua. Tua has got incredible hooks and uppercuts.
And he knows he can rely on that big hammer. He has had several fights in which he was even after 10, 11 rounds and then knocked opponents out in the next round. Oh, well, Tua with the left, but Wooden returns a left of his own that kind of stopped David Tua in his tracks.
And that's what they're asking for from Jeff Wooden. They also want him to follow up. When you crack your opponent with a shot like that, they want him to come back with a right hook. Body punches. Oh, his body punches. Smart. Wooden protecting his body better now. Not realizing he's leaving his head open doing that, but it hurts to get hit in the body.
Gets upstairs to block that right hand. 5 seconds and counting in round number 3. Flashing the jab and spin.
Yeah, but that's not the way he fights. He doesn't dance in the ring. He fights. Speaking of fights, here comes Jeff Wooden.
He may be Wooden, but he is not as stiff as many of the good heavyweights have found out. Wooden had a record of 17-2. He was kind of on the cusp, ready to move up. But then losing to 22-0 Michael Grant, 22-0 Hasim Rockman, going the distance with Grant, going to the 9th round in a slugfest with The Rock. Very game, but unable to make that step. And now trying to do so, changing his style a little bit. Become more of a boxer, thinker in the ring, do what's best for him. Going up against the 4th-ranked heavyweight, according to the WBC, David Tua. And Wooden really gets in there, takes his shots out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina. He has about 100 friends who made the trip here to watch him fight. 2-time Armed Forces champion out of Fort Bragg. Did not start boxing until he was 24. He turned pro less than 4 years ago. Made great strides.
Used to watch Muhammad Ali and loved his style when he started boxing in the Army. He went 75-8 as an amateur. Jazzy Jeff Wooden before turning pro back in May of 1994 against Nathaniel Spears. He knocked him out, speared him in the first round. Fight plan tonight for Wooden was to box, don't slug. He came out at the first of this round and tried to establish control of the round with some aggression, but then back on his bicycle, on his walking stick. There's a good combination. Notice how Tua starts off at the bottom. Whoa!
An explosion by David Tua. Here in the fourth, he continues to bang away. Wooden a heavy bag in front of Tua, but it's Wooden who fights back. And this is vintage Jeff Wooden, who could leave himself open now that he's decided to slug back. Oh, crunching blows by Tua, nothing but air on those two shots, but Wooden certainly heard them go by.
Yeah, well, they said in boxing that Jeff has a wooden chin. He can take the shot.
I think it's petrified wood. If he's hoping to tire Tua out, and you see Tua breathing a little bit now with open mouth, but Tua has gone 11, 12 rounds in 3 of his last 4 fights, coming on in the late stages against Ibuchi.
But you have to wonder if Tua's too tired to go.
Weighing in at 234, heaviest ever in his career, so the crowd applauding again the courage of Wooden, but you can see the marks of Tua already on the side of his face. Let's listen in.
That's his blood, not your blood. I want you to go in and relax and breathe. You understand me? Relax and breathe. I got you. Relax and breathe. You understand me? And keep moving right, baby. He's old. He's tired. He's old. He's old. Come on. Listen to me. I beat him out. You can beat him with a jab. Woo woo. Do not stay there and slug. Move right. Pump the jab.
All right, Wooden made his point in that round. Now the corner wants him once again the jab. They think they have Tua tiring. Take him out to a couple of the later rounds.
I don't know. Tua has shown good resiliency, even in the later rounds, able to score knockouts. Jeff Wooden came out in that 4th round and tried to establish control, but he stayed in there and slugged. He had so much success early in the round that he continued doing that late in the round, and it may have cost him the round. Almost cost him the fight. That's what they want Wooden to do. Jab and then step around. Against those left-handed fighters, if you jab and then step around, you get around the blind side, they can't see you. And then score just like Jeff did right there.
But Tua tonight running into the speed of Jeff Wooden, demonstrating it right there. Wooden's a confounding type of a fighter. Wooden in the white, Tua in the black trunks. Tua felt that he would be able to punch his way through Jeff Wooden.
Now look where the hand continues to go for Wooden. As the fight goes longer, his hands, gloves get heavier, hands go down.
Gerald Coley, Willie Wise is coming up in our main event. Welterweight NABF championship. Willie Wise going up against a guy who's been a magician in the ring, and Darryl Coley. He's pulled out some victories after coming off the canvas in miraculous style. And one of the real exciting fighters to watch.
Great to watch. Never count him out. He'll get hit, he'll get knocked down, but he'll come back to try to win.
Lost with 1 fight in his career in 34. Tua, he can't punch Wooden out, try to throw him out of the ring.
Calm down.
And you know what? I believe he could do that. 5'10", 234 pounds. The Terminator, David Tua.
A more solid David Tua than we've seen in the past. We've seen him in the past where he was out of shape, overweight. Here he comes on strong toward the end of the round, too, the final minute, trying to pick it up.
The heaviest he's ever weighed, but he may like this weight. Last fight, The Ibiabuchi was at 226, 8 pounds lighter. And again, snapping upstairs is Jeff Wooden. Nicknamed Jazzy Jeff. A lot of improv, a lot of jamming in there in the ring for this heavyweight. 10 seconds and counting in round number 5. Interesting heavyweight matchup in our first full feature card. Gaining more and more confidence in that corner. Jazzy Jeff Wooden striking with some combinations. Trying to keep David Tua off of him through 5 rounds and 5 rounds to go. Coming out with the left hook is Tua, who won his first 27 fights, 23 by knockout. Advancing quickly in the heavyweight ranks and now in position to make a run at a world championship. At number 4 in the WBC, he sees number 10 Shannon Briggs getting a world title fight against Lennox Lewis.
Oh, big shot downstairs.
But Tua in a position now because he wants to fight some of the other contenders and solidify a shot at the crown.
You know, he does look more focused tonight since I've seen him in a long time. He looks fit. Looks like he wants to fight. Look at these combinations from Tua. In the past, he was able to go out and he had so much power, he'd just go out and knock out his opponent. It really wasn't a fight, but tonight he's using his timing a bit. He's setting his punches up. He's starting off at the body and then working his way up to the head. Not just rushing in with reckless abandonment. The jab from Wooden is so vexing. They're so pesky.
Jabbing Jeff Wooden, then he follows it up with the left hand. And this is where Wooden could just get annoying and take you out of your game. And that's what he's trying to do with Tua.
Frustrate you. Get that glove out of my face. Let me hit you.
Now there's pain involved in boxing, but here Jeff Wooden is just becoming a pain. The Chris Bird jabbing in your face. Strategical.
Well, perhaps he learned that from Chris Bird. Jeff Wooden fought Chris Bird, losing a 10-round decision back in January of 1996.
And gave Chris one of his better runs.
Yeah, he said his style is just agitating. But he never hurt me, but he's just obnoxious, talking about Chris Bird. And he has an obnoxious style, also a southpaw. To the body. You miss the head, go downstairs to the body. This is a kid in Tua that they have really been doing a lot of work with. Lou Duva gets into the gym and screams instructions at him. They've got a picture of the heavyweight sumo wrestler, Akio, in the gym to remind David Tua not to get too much overweight. In fact, Lou Duva said he even calls him sometimes. He calls Tua Akio.
He's a couple of 100 pounds short.
Yeah, right. He didn't want him to get that big, though.
Son, Johnny Unitas, former Colt quarterback, NFL Hall of Famer, and when you talk about heavyweights in the sports world, Johnny Unitas here in Pikesville, Maryland, right outside of Baltimore, enjoying this with a big crowd here at the Pikesville Armory, watching this heavyweight encounter. Moving into round number 7. And Jeff Wooden is taking all that David Tua can deliver. Punching shots. Tua punches through an opponent. But Wooden shaking it off. And coming back in his pesky fashion. So what are they thinking about in the corner of Tua? Lou Duva is there, and so is the champ.
Lou Duva, Jeff Wooden has an obnoxious style.
Yeah.
What are you trying to get David to do?
I'm trying to get him to cut the ring off him and walk in, get closer, and so he can throw short combinations at this guy here.
He'll knock this guy out if he gets close to him. He's not doing it. He's not getting back to him.
I think Jeff Wooden knows that. Did you expect this type of a fighter in Jeff Wooden?
No, I didn't think that he would move, jab, and run like this here. You know, I thought that he would stand there and fight. A couple of fights I seen him, he stands there and fights you.
Yeah, he is really focused tonight on his movement. What are you going to try to do? I saw some body shots earlier. You think more of those?
Yeah, I'm trying to go to the body and then come right up on top. But I want 3 and 4 punch combinations. That's what I'm trying to get him to do. But I want him to get close so he can punch. He can't lay out there because this guy's leaning over and just touching him, and making him look bad.
And he's hard to hit from the outside. Now, Lou, this is the 7th round. How close is this fight?
Well, I think David is winning with his punching power, but hey, you never know. You know, it's a fight out there, but I'm gonna start giving him a little attacking strategy out there. I'm telling you, better go out there and fight or else.
Yeah, and I know I've heard that strategy myself. I know Lou Duva, he wants a knockout tonight. How can you get a knockout?
He's got to get there and punch. If he gets in there and punch, he knocks the guy out.
Yeah, I see you guys have done a lot of
right there.
A lot of work in the gym, up and down. Here he comes. Here he comes, Lou. What do you want him to do now?
I want him to keep right on top and punch. That's all he has to do. Is stay right on top, hit something.
Is he getting off of him too much? He goes in, scores, and then he walks back. He walks in, he scores, he backs him to the ropes, and he steps back.
That's right. We don't want him to step back. What we want to do is punch and then move on the side and punch again.
All right, Lou Duva, you got your work cut out for him. Keep him on the inside. He wants him taking him out, Al.
Okay,
30 seconds to go in this 7th round, and offensive 7th round for David Tua. Jeff Wooden, a fighter who has taken some heavy shots here in the last year of his career from the likes of the Tuas and the Hasim Rahmans. Closing seconds of the 7th. Thursday night fight action. Al Albert along with the champ, Sean O'Grady. Kathy Long, a winner in the women's semifinals. She moves into the March 31st finals against Sweden's Alina Åkesson. Looking forward to that. Kathy in her pro boxing debut. The former 5-time kickboxing champion, trainer to the stars, movie queen. And she'll be back here on USA March 31st. And right here, David Tua just trying to figure out the puzzle of Jeff Wooden, although Tua appears to be comfortably in front here in the 8th round, has certainly taken the attack to Wooden, but Wooden does not comply with David Tua.
Now, Wooden wants to stay in there for the distance, but see what they're trying to do now. They want David to step over. What Lou was talking about is cutting the ring off to his left side. Step over and make Jeff Wooden run into your right hand. So you do that by stepping over. You control your opponent with your feet. Control his movement. Step over to David Tua, step over to your left, cut the ring off to that side, and force Jeff Wooden into your right hand. David Tua says his best punch is his right. He also has a good left hook, but he is having trouble with his style of jazzy Jeff Wooden.
Advancing, punching through. Tua clubbing shots. Oh, the left uppercut.
All of that set up by body shots. Oh, good combination outside and inside from Tua. The uppercut. What a debilitating weapon. Oh, you get hit with an uppercut, you get hit on the point of the chin, can knock you out. You get hit under the nose, it'll break your nose. Get hit in the Adam's apple, you'll be coughing a few rounds. Get hit right in the middle of the chest in your xiphoid process, in your solar plexus, knocks the wind out of you.
Hate one.
A great punch.
Jeff Wooden started late, but may have a very short career. He's giving it his best shot, but in the fights we have seen him, he's just taking too many punches.
Oh,
and look at these shots. And now Tua senses it. He has Wooden against the ropes. And Wooden walks out of it. Tua staying as close as Lou Duva wants him to.
But Wooden also staying close. Wooden's frozen because of those body shots. You hit your opponent in the right place in the body and they freeze. Their legs won't move. Oh, you hit him in the right place in the chin and everything moves. The fight's over. Back in the 8th round, watch how Jazzy Jeff just walks out, walks away, pulls back, tries to take some of the power out of the punch of Tua. Terminator, David Tua. Lou Duva would like for him to knock out Jeff Wooden.
I think so with David.
Well, David, in order to score a knockout, he's going to have to turn it up and keep it up. You get Jeff Wooden hurt, you get him back to the corner, that's when he is very dangerous. He hangs in there, he survives these pesky shots from the outside. And also, you got to cut off that ring to the left side. Lou Duva knows what it is that David needs to do. Slide over to your left. Keep cutting the ring off. Cut it off. Stop that right there. Every time that Jeff Wooden moves around behind David Tua, Tua's got to reset. He's got to reset his feet.
In Wooden's fight against The Rock, Hasim Rahman, the hard-punching, undefeated heavyweight. Wooden hung in there, actually got some great shots in early in the mid-rounds, but it was around here in the 8th round that Rahman's superior punching power started to take its toll. Wooden had a standing 8 count in the 8th and 9th rounds, and then knocked down in the 10th, and the fight was stopped in the 10th round. So here is Tua now moving into this 8th round, and certainly his shots, you would think, have taken its toll on Wooden, and see if he could close in here in the last 3 rounds.
Yeah, but these punches from Wooden, oh, there's a
right in the end of that one.
Right hand. But Wooden walked away from it.
Oh,
take some of the power. Yeah, he took some of the power out of that punch by moving to his right. But you know what? The punches of Jeff Wooden have subsided since about the 4th round, the 4th and 5th round. Jeff Wooden's punches had not had the effectiveness that they had before that. Whoa.
Wooden is woozy after that one. Jazzy could be turning into dizzy. David Tua understands that there are many opponents out there we could face tonight with this kind of punishment would actually not still be out there.
What a shot. That's what you got to catch a fighter like Wooden with. When he reaches to throw that jab, that's when you got to connect with a left hook.
All Tua here in the 8th.
He has found a weapon that works. The left hook over that jab. Those southpaw fighters are susceptible to that punch because of the way they move.
Wooden waiting for the bell. Listening to his corner. Very difficult to listen to your corner at this particular moment.
Why is that?
And really even more difficult to notice that she has the wrong round card.
She has a round card?
Meanwhile, you see the NABF title belt or belts owned by Jazzy Daryl Coley in his backyard. He is ready, as you can see, the tension mounting in the locker room there. And Jeff Wooden understands that he tried to box and take Tua out of his game, but right now, unfortunately for him, the handwriting is there. Got to slug it out and look for the miracle punch and knock Tua out to win this fight. Tua does not really look like he's ready to go.
Boy, this is a game where you learn quickly. You see how Jeff Wooden now keeping that right hand up around his ear? Tired of eating those left hooks. Boy, they are asking for movement from the corner of Jeff Wooden.
Tua springing in very tight in front of Wooden. David Tua, ranked number 4 in the WBC in the heavyweight division. Inching closer and closer. The world title shot. That left hook catches Jeff Wooden.
You got to follow it up though. You catch Wooden with one shot, he's on his bicycle. You got to catch him with 2s and 3s. Something that David Tua is now learning.
Wooden making it interesting early, but just not able to withstand the constant clubbing and punishment from Tua.
Does not like those body shots. You see Wooden wincing getting hit downstairs.
But Tua unable to put the gutsy Wooden down. Wooden tries to end it with a flurry. He concludes 10 rounds with a future world championship contender. But Wooden once again unable to make that age of 25. Former bronze medalist in the '92 Barcelona Olympics representing New Zealand. Now living in Auckland, Australia. Lou Duva, Ronnie Shields attending to Tua in the corner, and Champ taking a little more time than we would expect on this decision.
What does that mean?
All right. Ed Darian is set in the ring, so let's get the decision of the judges.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Pikesville Armory in Pikesville, Maryland, I've got the scoring, and here it is. Judge Jodi Wingfield scores even at 95-95, while Judge Bill Holmes has it 97-93. And Judge Kenny Chevalier, he scores it 96-95. For the winner by majority decision, David the Terminator Tua.
But not without a skip of the heart, and even the mixed reaction from the crowd.
Very close. Close scores, but one had it a draw. 97-93, 96-95, the other two.
Looked like a Tua attack from